Tim, you've been at the Academy a long time.
Yes, I have, 25 years.
25 years. How has the visual arts program changed over your time here?
It's grown. It's grown immensely in both the numbers of students who are involved in the program and also the breadth of what we teach. We are laser cutting, we are using CNC routers, we are teaching observational drawing as we always have, we're teaching animation and film, we are teaching photography, and as we broaden the department more and more, the overlap becomes clearer, that there's not distinct disciplines such as English and math and history and art, but more and more everybody is using all the tools available to both explore, do research, and to express their own ideas, whether it's mathematicians making films, kids who are really interested in filmmaking, designing stunt reels. We have students who are really interested in design, trying to figure out how to design rockets in the sculpture studio. And the more this happens, the more it's clear that these tools are at the service of anybody with an idea.
Tim, you know, we both subscribe to the growth mindset, but there has to be students that you encounter who say, oh, I'm not an artist, or I can't draw. You know, what do you do to engage them?
The skills of art making are teachable. They're absolutely teachable. They're teachable with a structured course of study and enthusiastic instruction and supporting the students' growth as they go through it. The idea that you can't do something means that you haven't learned to do it. And we pride ourselves on being teachers who can teach students how to look at a glass of water and draw what they see, to look at the way the light is hitting the landscape and get the shadows right and the color of the green on the leaves. All of these things are possible and they're teachable.
So we have a fabulous visual arts faculty. They are both working artists and faculty members and teachers. How do we or do you help allow them to find that sense of balance between pursuing their own artistic passions and the responsibility and beauty of teaching?
I do what I can to support that balance. It's a tough balance to strike sometimes, but I have found, and we have in discussion, talk to each other about how much doing artwork informs your work in the classroom. And that it is real world experience where you're talking about what you're doing at home and you're talking to the students about it. You're talking about students are coming to your shows and talking to you about how to sell artwork. And so that none of this is theoretical. And the idea that we are working with dozens and dozens of students all the time who have their own great ideas.
Right.
And we're helping to support them. It is a kind of it's a pump that never needs priming because of all of this input from kids. And it's just a great flow of creativity for everybody.
So we have a variety of art shows that are put up throughout the year. Can you take us through a little bit about who puts in their pieces, how are they presented, and why do we think it's really important that they have the capstone experience of a presentation?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So twice a year we have an all-school art show where every student who's in art, 6th grade through 12th grade, exhibits some of their work. We have one in December. It's the Fall Art Show, and it's a really wonderful way to showcase what's happened that semester. We also have the Spring Art Show, and it is the equivalent of the big game for the football player. It's the equivalent of the concert for the orchestra that they've been practicing, they've been working all year. That is where many students really begin to understand that art is really about a dialogue with others, that this is not strictly about themselves and about what they're making, it's about what they're saying and how they're saying it to others. And so we need others to come. And we have great turnout, great support by the school and the parents for all of the art shows. And it is really a capstone event where they begin to understand that they've arrived somewhere.
Right. So how do you assess or critique artwork, and how do you help students to critique their own artwork?
The ability to think and talk about artwork is really what's incredibly important, and what sets our graduates apart from many, many other students coming out of really very strong art programs. Our emphasis on critique and the ability to discuss artwork of others really makes it so they can walk into any museum or gallery in the world and understand what they're looking at. But all of these skills are really in service of ideas. that a skill is a skill, very useful. It's important to know how to stick two pieces of wood together, two pieces of metal together, how to frame up something square. But what you're doing with it is the thing that matters, and that's really the focus of the entire department, putting these skills to use in service of the student's idea. They can make something out of welded steel. They can make something out of wood. They can cast forms in plaster. To be in service of the imagination of young people is just such a blast. It's so great.
Well, lots of schools are measured on their English or math or science departments, but I think really exceptional schools should be measured on their visual arts department. And I think the Academy is deserving of its reputation of being one of the best. So thank you so much.
Thank you.